Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and start building your wealth.
But guys, we're going to go ahead and get this started here. So Jim Buttrell is a fellow EXP agent and team leader on the West Coast. Look how beautiful it is behind him. Holy cow, man. Look at the views. Clear sky.
But I don't have a 1903 Springfield behind me.
There you go. This has actually never been fired. It's actually an 1898. It was never fired.
Is it really?
So
Okay.
That's why it's mounted, because it's a collector's item. But
All right.
when you see this, Jim, that's my wall of honor.
Right? Yeah, you've got the Medal of Honor. Or you said you had two of them on your walls, right?
Two different branches of family. They may have crossed paths maybe once in their entire lives at like a big family reunion or something, but yeah, obviously they different wars, and they would not have really known each other other than marriages, But some amazing stories. I keep learning more and more too. It's amazing. So, guys, anyways, so Jim does a really good job with his team. He's got one of the top teams in the company. And he also has a platform he developed to receive offers, cash offers from people. Not just cash offers, sorry, but offers in general.
Yeah.
So what Jim's going to do is showcase that for you tonight. And it is an excellent platform and something I want you to take seriously. And I might be looking at it for us as a group to see how we can participate in that as well. But so Jim, if you're okay with it, you can go ahead and share your screen, and you want to give a brief little introduction?
Okay.
That'd be
All
great.
right. So anyway, my name is Jim Buttrell, and let me get set up here, because while I was trying to log on, I kind of blanked everything out. I run a team out here in North County, San Diego, South Riverside County, basically a lot of Southern California. I'm on a couple TV stations, about 9 different radio stations. So we have a very broad signal. So we do some in Los Angeles, Orange County, San Bernardino, Riverside, San Diego County. So pretty much all of Southern California. I do that with about 20 team agents, and having a pretty good year. Who's having a good year this year? No hands going up. What? Are you kidding me? Come on. How many people do we have on here?
So far, 20 altogether. They'll probably end up being somewhere between 30 and 40.
Okay.
We're done.
All right. So let me expand this where I can see more people. All right. Okay. So hands again. Who's having a good year? We got to put hands up. We got to have hands. This is the first good year since, honestly, 2021. Because 22 was, the first half was awesome. Second half was terrible. 23 was terrible. It's like a skull drag. I'm going to put my head in a door jam and just close it on it repeatedly. Who runs a team out there? How many of you guys run teams?
They're both mostly on my team here. So there are a few people who are building their own team. So out of this,
okay.
So it's a great, yeah.
All right. So let me show you guys this cash offer platform. So I'm going to share my screen.
Hey, Jim, I just realized while you're doing that, every year we get the message. I think you're in top 250, right? Your team.
Oh yeah, I think we were number 9 once.
Excellent.
For the icon teams.
Nice.
Okay. So let me show you guys how this works. I need a volunteer. Somebody volunteer. Just going to give me an address. Give me an address, any address. Okay, looks like we have Valen. All right. An address anywhere in the United States, any one of the 50 states would be fine. So give me an address, any address.
It could be my address, right?
Can be what?
It can be my home address?
Yeah, any address you want.
8315 Jackson Avenue, Munster, Indiana.
This one?
Yes.
Munster, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Indiana. All right. So let's just go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and put you in here. It is Valen. What's your last name?
It's Val, V-A-L. I don't even know what that means, Valen.
Well, I'm looking at your name right here on the Zoom. It says Valen.
I know, I see that.
Val.
I switched a few things. Okay.
Pasternak. We'll just do that. We'll go. Yeah. What's your email real quick?
My name, Valerie, V-A-L-A-R-I-E, Pasternak, P-A-S-T-E-R-N-A-K.
At what?
At Gmail.
Okay. And just
You
give
have
me phone
an
number.
A instead of an E in Valerie.
Thought she said ARIE.
Valerie.
Uh-huh. Okay. She told you, Gary. All right, what's your phone number?
She's a unicorn.
708 743 9205.
Okay. All right. So we're going to do, this is just basically a way that you as an agent can input a home into the cash offer platform. All right. So we're going to put in that you're buying a home also because it'll show the rest of the offers. This works in all 50 states and honestly changed my business. It actually saved my business. The only reason I still have a business is because of this cash offer platform. So let's make sure I get this right. This is 7 bathrooms, 7 beds, 2 baths, 2 floors. Is it a 1-car garage? Val, you're muted.
Sorry.
Is it a
It's actually 4 bedrooms,
4 bedrooms? Huh, okay. First time I've seen that.
3 baths.
Wow. Is everything permitted?
What does that mean?
Does it normally just comes right off the tax record, so it's unusual. This is wrong. But okay,
Oh.
whatever. 2 floors is a 1-car garage. This is the car garage is where it doesn't get it right.
2.
2-car garage. Okay, it's very common that that's okay. Lake County. I'm going to put an agent entered. What's the property condition? Are we turnkey, good condition, needs TLC?
Good condition.
Good condition. Okay. So what we're going to do now is the estimated value of 247,000, right?
No,
Yeah, I didn't think so. Let's put a different app. What's the property value?
like 400. That's fine.
Okay. Is this a rural property by any chance?
No.
Really? Wow. Normally we get this stuff right on. Okay. Well, it allows you to change these things. So while this is generating offers, is that your house right there?
It used to be.
Okay. That's going to be a Google picture.
Those bushes are super gone.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now while this is generating offers, so I'm going to give you guys some background. So it's going to take a few minutes for us to get these offers in. And so back in the end of 2023, I was about to retire. I was pretty much just done with it. When times are good, I invested well. I own lots of rental properties. So my passive revenue exceeds what my cost to live is every day. So I don't have to do this stuff anymore. And I do it because I like to win. I like to watch people around me win. And that's why I continue to stay in this business. But after honestly 18 months of beating my head against the wall, trying to push agents around, dealing with, to work, to running the staff, having the expenses, and really not making any money, I was really ready to retire. And one of my buddies who used to own a real estate team, I was visiting with him and I gave him the idea of what HomeLight was doing, and he built this cash offer platform. So I remember sitting in the parking lot of a Verizon store, and he called me, and I was literally just kind of planning, how do I wind everything down? Because I'm done with this. And he says, I've got this cash offer platform. It's pretty slick. You should take a look at it. And he showed it to me, and it was awesome. And it changed my business. Now, being in California, back then, there were only about 40 investors on the platform. Now there's well over 100. And there are big firms that you hear that are not impacted by the new laws that Trump signed. So it hasn't had any impact on our sites at all. And I realized that I had a problem because there were only 4 investors that would make offers in California. So we've got this platform with 40 investors, but only 4 of them want to do business in California. So the offers sucked. They were terrible offers at first, but I realized the platform was awesome and it gave us a lot of cool things that we could do. So imagine back then being able to advertise, I can bring 4 cash offers to your house on day 1. I show up to your door the very first time with 4 cash offers. Now, I don't know what it's like with you guys as far as being able to obtain cash offers, but here in California, there's no shortage of them. There are tons of investors. So if you just drive up and down the freeway, you see 3 freeway billboards. 1 is attorneys to sue somebody. 2, hey, come buy your weed here. Okay. Buy your drugs here. And 3, cash offers for your homes. All right, that's it. You could just drive right down the freeway, and these are the only 3 freeway billboards you ever see. And so I had to come up with something a little bit different. So I realized, well, if I can say I bring a bunch of cash offers, that made it stand out. Well, there's an old saying, every level's another devil. And so at first we had to figure out what words could we use in our print advertising, postcards, TV commercials, radio commercials that would get people to pick up the phone and call us. Now, it's only been a few minutes. We've already got 12 offers. They'll keep coming in. So we had to figure out the words to use to make the phone ring. Well, I run an ISA model. I have 3 full-time inside sales agents. They're American-based. They're right here. And we learned that the words that ISAs use for somebody wanting cash offers were going to be different words than somebody who just calls in and says, hey, I want Jim to sell my home, right? And then, so we got through that, and that was the second level. And then we got to the door. Now the ISAs were able to book the appointment, so the agent would show up at the door to present the cash offers, but they were awful cash offers. All right. And the agents were getting turned around. And then, of course, my agents would call me and say, hey, Jim, these offers suck. I can't believe you sent, or this lead sucks. This type of lead source sucks. I can't believe you'd send me on this appointment. And then me as the team leader would say, make sure I get this right. You were at the door speaking to a seller who was expecting you to be there to talk about offers for his or her home. And you're telling me that's a bad appointment. Okay. All right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on now. So anyway, then we got through that. And the way we did it is we built in originally this little Jim Petrell team, 100% of market value, I pay the difference, veteran first responders. What we did is we hard coded this into the back to where it would just go at 102, 103% of fair market value. And so what they would do is the people would say, oh, I want that offer. Great, no problem. We're going to show you how that works. And then now they get to go inside and sit down at the table and they do a regular listing presentation. And what happens 98, 99% of the time, they end up just listing their house retail. Now, these are people that called and said, I only want cash offers. I do not want a realtor. I do not want a sign in front of my house. I do not want open houses. I don't want people coming in and out of my house. Yet 98% of the time, they end up listing their house retail. So we learned is there's a lot of really good ways to use this platform beyond just selling it to investors for cash offers. And so what I did is I drew out, these are some ways that we can, that you can monetize this. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. All right. So the first one is selling homes to the investors, inputting whatever commission you want. So let me show you how you do that. So we go into the back end here, and we can just pick any one of these things, doesn't matter. All right, and we view the offer, and then we can go ahead and edit it. And this is where you put your commission. Like for my team, all of our listings, we take them at 4.9%, plus we also charge a 0.8% transaction fee. So that's built in to this offer, but you can change this to anything you want it to be. That's, again, if you sell it to the cash investor, which you very rarely do. Now, if we do end up selling it to the cash investor, they're going to turn that house and then resell it, which means that we get to sell that same home a second time, or what I call a second bite of the apple. Now, there's another thing, Consumer Direct, requesting cash offers from the public website. This is my public website right here. So this is on our radio ads that we run. This is on our postcards or whatever type of advertising we run and we run 15-second commercials and run a ton of them because they're super cheap. They're like a few bucks. You want 14 to 17 cash offers in your house within minutes, go to jimscashoffers.com, jimscashoffers.com. Speak to no agent, get 14 to 17 cash offers in just minutes, no cost, no obligations, jimscashoffers.com. That's it. There's your 15-second ad. So they go to jimscashoffers.com, they put their address in, and the exact same thing that I did with you guys a minute when I input Val's house is what the consumer would do. So every morning when my ISAs show up, here's the new people that requested the cash offers. And my ISAs just call them and book appointments for the agents to come present the cash offers. So that is a neat way that the consumer is the one who's actually doing the inputting of stuff. They don't even raise their hand. Loss leader selling homes, what I said, by listing them retail, that's what happens 98% of the time. There's another one that a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine does this, and he does it out of Texas. And he has probate websites, and he does it in multiple states now. And these probate websites, and he was actually visiting my house several months ago when he got one of these phone calls, and he goes, okay, yeah, how much do you, you just inherited this house. Okay, no problem. What condition is it in? How much is owed on it? What do you think it's going to be worth? And then how much do you want like a check when it's all said and done. And in this particular case, I can't remember, I think it was Missouri or something like that. The person said, we owe 200 on it. They would like a check for 250. And my friend input it into the system and they got an offer for 600. Well, the 200 loan and the 250 is 450. So he just changed this percent to an amount and puts in $150,000. And that's how much he got paid. Now I do his P&L for him. Well, I help him with his P&Ls, and I do know that he made $600,000 last month. He used to have a real estate team with 55 agents on it. He got rid of his entire team. He got rid of his team, he got rid of his staff. He has no expenses other than this website. So that's one way of doing it. I do think it's questionable as far as the ethics are concerned, because I mean, is there a limit? Do we charge a lot on my team for our buyer and seller services? Yeah, we make 4% on our buy side, and we take our listings at 4.9% plus a 0.8% transaction. That's just to us. So yes, we're more expensive than most, but I also feel that we provide a better service. We provide a better result. I don't know that I would do what he does, though. Now, let's get into the buyer's agent stuff. This is fantastic, because what are the ways that you can convert somebody, call it from the buy side? When you meet a buyer, how do you convert somebody? You must do one of two things. You must give them something what they want but don't have, or you must give them something better than what they have right now. Let me ask you all, does the average buyer believe they have access to all the houses that are for sale?
They think so.
They do, right?
No,
Well, most do. Most do. Who said no?
I did. Kathy Urich.
Kathy Urich. Okay, Kathy, role play this with me for a second. So my team's a Zillow Flex team. So we have a lot of appointments where they just meet in the driveway. And so we have to do training on this. You meet the driveway and we ask one simple question at the beginning, after the meet and greet stuff. So besides this one house, what brings us here today? All right, well, now we just ask them, why are you guys looking at buying? And then my agents are trained to ask questions from whatever answer they are. But early on in the process, they're going to say, and this is where I'm going to role play with you, Kathy. So Kathy, so far, what's been your process for finding houses?
Oh, there's several different apps that I look at.
Okay. Well, what about the houses that are not on the apps?
Yeah, that makes it a little harder. I'm also watching when I'm driving around.
Okay, but there are houses that are not on apps at all. What about those houses?
Well, I can probably miss those.
Yeah. Well, those are what we call off-market properties. Now, off-market properties are the ones that are not on your Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Homes.com. They're not on the MLS. There's no signs out in front, and there are no open houses. Those are called off-market properties. Now, we have access to those. In fact, 28% of my buyers are currently living in one of those off-market properties, which means they didn't have to compete against anybody for a great house. Kathy, does that sound advantageous to you? Would you like to know more about that?
Yeah, sure.
Great. So I'll tell you what, after this meeting, how about we go over like the nearby Starbucks, we'll get a cup of coffee and I'll sit down and show you how it works. And then I can start showing you the off-market properties. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay. So that's how you give somebody something better than what they have right now. So for example, this is one of the things that I love in this. I'm just going to go to the dashboard that all my agents have access to. And we can say, okay, Kathy, pick any one of these houses in here. These are our off-market properties. These are all people that have asked us for a cash offer on their homes. Pick any one of them, open up your app and tell me if it's for sale. Just don't choose the ones that are listed, that say listed, but all these other ones, just pick one of them. Doesn't matter. And you guys can all do this. Jump on Zillow, whatever you want. Pick a house, throw it in Zillow and tell me if it's for sale.
Can I just pick one off your screen?
Yeah, but what we have them do it is they usually will say Zillow or Homes.com or something like that. And so we just pull this up and say, pick any one of these houses, put it in your app, you put it in your app, and then tell me if it's for sale. And the answer is going to be no, it's not for sale. It's like, great, but these are all off-market properties. Every one of these people has asked us to generate offers for them. These houses are for sale. They're just not on the market. And so now that proves to the consumer that we actually have access to these off-market properties.
In California, I'm going to need to have a pool.
Okay. You mean like mine?
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. So anyway, that is a proof of concept right there where we can actually show people that we have access to off-market properties. Now, let me ask you, any of those other agents that buyer is going to be talking to, are they going to be able to do this?
Probably
They're
not.
not. They're not, right? So once we started to learn how to use the cash offer platform for more than what it was originally designed for, it was designed to have a pool of investors that would buy a house that you put in there. And then I learned about 8 different ways to monetize it. 9 ways total. 9 ways to monetize it, only one of which is what it was originally intended for. And so now there's another thing on this one. Let's go back to this real quick. So buyers can use this to show a client they have off-market properties. Oh, and by the way, here's another thing I forgot about that. You can input buyers into this. Let's say you meet some buyers. How many of you guys go to your MLS and input your buyer search criteria and then automatic updates go to that buyer every night?
Mhm.
Okay, I would encourage you that you don't do that.
Hmm.
I encourage now you can do it however you want to do it, but I don't have my team do it because those are all retail properties that have been picked over that everybody else knows about. And it does a couple things. One is it shows them a bunch of houses that maybe they don't like. So you become the agent who has the houses they don't want. All right. And then the other half of that is when that person receives that MLS update, does it have the full address in it? Yeah, it does. So then they can just jump on one of Kathy's apps and then hit that blue button that says schedule showing. And is that you that's showing it? You just gave your buyer away by giving them the address. This platform, you can input your buyers, their criteria, and then whenever a new off-market property hits matching their criteria, they get an email that night, just like the MLS, but it doesn't give them the full address. If they want the address, they have to contact you for it. So there's no hole in the boat there. There's no leakage on that. So I love that aspect of it. Instant offers. How many of you guys do open houses? Open houses, right? Have you ever at an open house had somebody walk in, you talk to them for a minute, and it turns out they also have a house to sell? Imagine doing this, saying, hey guys, you have a house to sell? Great. Tell you what, here's some information on this house, but while you're walking around the house for the next 3-4 minutes, would you like me to generate 14 to 17 offers for your house? Doesn't cost you anything. There's no obligation, just to see what they are. And then when you're ready to go, just pop back by and I'll have them up on the screen for you. And it's a real offers. Would you be interested in that? They never say no. They never say no. And guess what? They give you the real contact information too. And so while they're walking around in the house, you generate offers for them.
Nice.
Yeah, not bad, huh? Let's also point something else out here. Qualified buyers. Remember how I told you you guys can input your buyers into this? All right, now this cash offer platform is in all 50 states. So there are other users in your area using this platform. They have input buyers where your house, Kathy, matches their criteria. So if I click the button one listing, meaning you got the listing, now this new listing, still off market, goes out to the agent and that consumer at the same time. And this actually taps into showing time to where they can schedule showings for your house. Now imagine being at a listing appointment. You pull this up and say, and you're going through all your other stuff, but this is one of the slides saying, okay, for your house, I already have 8 buyers for your house. Would you like me to schedule them for this coming Saturday? What other listing agent is doing that? So you guys are starting to see how I've taken something that was designed to do one thing and I figured out all kinds of other ways to use it. And I had to do that because the offers here in Southern California, when this platform, we first started using it, they were terrible. I mean, awful offers, like 50% of value. And it's not the way it is anymore. We get really good offers now. All right. So moving on down to this. vendor support. You can exceed the platform cost each month. You know, what's funny is I just got this. How many of you guys use Ylopo? Do you use HomeBot? Anybody use anything that sends a monthly email to everybody that's ever purchased a home or anybody that owns a home that's in your database? Once a month, they get an email that says, "Hey, here's your home's value." You
Yeah,
guys
we-
ever
we
use
use,
any of those services? What?
Monthly market update, yeah, from
Yeah, it's Ylopo, Fellow, HomeBot. These are all services that you pay for that do this. But this is actually included with this platform, and it's called Home Uptick. Now, why is this doing this? Okay.
Jim,
So, yeah.
excuse me, there's a question in the question and answer
Oh,
thing.
I'm trying to look at my screen. What is the question?
And it says, what happens if they have an agent already?
If who has an agent already?
The person coming through. It says, what if the buyer has an agent already?
That's their problem. You guys realize that Article 16, at least out here, Article 16 says you can't solicit an active contract, but that doesn't mean that you can't solicit somebody even has a buyer broker agreement. That is between them and that other agent. So my agents, if somebody signed a BRBC or buyer broker compensation agreement with someone else, it's not our problem. It's theirs. If they want to work with us, they work with us. I don't care. If they're actually under contract, like they're in a purchase agreement or an RLA, a listing agreement or something like that, we don't mess with them unless they call us. And then what we'll do is they say, well, we're currently listed with someone else, but we're going to get rid of that agent. We're interviewing other agents. Will we go and interview it? 100% we will. But there's two things that we don't talk about. We don't talk about three things, actually. We don't talk about all the mistakes their agent made as to why their house hasn't sold. We don't talk about the pricing of it, and we don't talk about our commission. But we do sign the agreement, and we go ahead and leave the price and we leave the commission blank. And then we go ahead and say that we write in there that this doesn't take effect until the expiration or cancellation of the other agreement, at which time we will come back and they will fill in the price and the fee. But yes, if people come in, that's not a cash offer question. That's just I'd say just a real estate general question. What happens if somebody else is under contract? I didn't care. I was honestly, I was vicious with it. If some agent was dumb enough to allow their buyers to walk in an open house without them being there, and they happen to walk into my open house, that agent deserves to lose those clients. Because you know what? I'm there working my butt off on a Saturday and Sunday, and that agent's out playing golf. Screw him. That's just the way I was. I was absolutely vicious about that. Especially back when I was a newer agent, man, we were broke. We didn't have any, we couldn't afford to pay attention. All right, that's how broke we were. There was a point in time we were selling furniture to buy groceries, and I had a wife and a kid and stuff like that. And that's how much we struggled back then. So I was absolutely vicious with it. Does that answer the question?
Hey, Jim,
Yeah.
back to the, like when you're saying the early days, the cash offers were not all that great, but they've gotten better over time.
Much
Is there
better.
Anything you can point to, like why that might be? Is it,
A lot more investors. Yeah, we were
Gotcha.
back then, there were maybe 40 investors. Nowadays, I'm at about 140 investors.
okay,
So we're getting offers that are, 90%. So this one was honestly a little unusual, that everything didn't show up the way it normally does. I mean, Gary and Andre, you've both seen me do this before, and we put in houses and they just show up just nails right on. If we put in the value at $400,000 and look at these offers, so you have different types of offers in here. Do any of you guys have a company called Renovation Realty or anything like that, where they make their advertising pitch? Hey, we'll come in, we'll remodel your home, and then you can sell it for more money. Anybody like that? Any areas you guys are in?
Curbio's getting bigger and bigger. They're spreading around the country. There's one or two more, but Curbio is probably the biggest one.
Yeah. Yeah, we have one here called Renovation Realty, and their ads are great. I mean, they show the dingy, miserable kitchen, and then they show the after kitchen, which is just like a model home thing. It's like, we'll sell your house for more. And they have great ads. Well, I went back to the creator of this platform, and I said, we need to get some of those guys in. And then we need to get some other ones that are bridge loans. Like, for example, this buy before you sell. This is a bridge loan. We have a bridge loan going right now where I think it's this one too. is bridging $200,000 for our clients to close on the house they're buying before we sell the old one. And we're not even selling it to the cash investor. They're just doing a bridge loan on it. So there's other types of products in here as well. So there's HomeLight. HomeLight's one of them. Here's the HomeLight bridge. This is NAF bridge. How many of you guys run into people? How many of you guys run into people that are really in a very bad financial situation to where they don't have any money? They need to sell their home, but even if they sold their home, they still can't move. You guys ever run into that? We run into it once in a while. I mean, they're screwed. This platform right here, sell and lease back, they can sell their house to the investor and then stay in that house after the sale for up to a year. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you don't run into that stuff very often. And then, so I was getting into this vendor support for the expenses. We send out, or there's a thing on here called Home Uptick. And I'll go over here. And you know what's funny is no matter where I put the pictures of all of you guys, it's right exactly where I need to go. We go into Home Uptick. This is like your Fellow, your Ylopo, your HomeBot, where we input our clients in here and they get monthly emails sent to them. And let me show you one because I just got one today. And I got to move all your faces over the other side of the screen again. Where is it? It came in today. Yeah, here it is. So this is today. So this is what the consumer gets, because I input my own address. So this is what the consumer gets. Hey, your home value is ready. Great, here you go. Pearl Drive. See your home's value. All right, so then it pops up your home's value. Great, this would be your own branding. And then if somebody wants to put in, yeah, that's about right. No, that's not me. Let's change it. We get a notification they changed their value, because when somebody changes their value, that's a pretty good indicator they're thinking about selling their house, aren't they? If you want a free home analysis, you can do that. Update home details. Our giving back stuff, you can put any type of promotional stuff you want in there. So we donate a portion of it, like my agents and I donate a portion of every single commission check toward Rady Children Hospital, and whatever my agents donate, I personally match. So I match every single person in the company every month. I'm one of the guys that's on TV a lot. So we just put one of my news interviews in here. So the news will have me on talking about stuff. This I thought was really cool. This works in every single city in the country. These are fun little things that are going on. So if you want to see what's going on in any one of these things, then you can just click on it. It'll take you right to the website for it. There you go. That's a little golf course thing. If you want cash offers on your home, interesting enough, we do get people that put in address changes, phone updates, email changes. It tells us what's going on in the market, in the neighborhood. And you want to look at the active pending sales. Again, we get a notification the person's changing stuff. We can see what interest rates have been doing. I team up with my mortgage lender who pays for part of this stuff. And then I need to do this. This is a fairly new thing where you can put in trusted service provider. So this is Dave Williams. He put the pool in behind me last year. I threw him in here. Now, what you can do on this is you can put as many service providers as you want, and you can actually have them pay toward your cost of this platform every single month. Now, there's a guy in Colorado who pays for just the basic platform at $299 a month, but he has $4,000 a month in vendor support. Did you guys hear that? He pays $299 a month, but has $4,000 a month in vendor support. So he gets the platform plus a credit on his credit card every single month for $3,701. You can make this its own platform. Yeah, so it's pretty smart. I just heard about that maybe a month ago. I was like, what? You can do that? All right, so yeah, I need to get on that. And then, yeah, get in touch. And then coming back to this, how many of you have teams? Any of you have teams, or are you guys mostly individual agents? Or Gary, is this your team?
Yeah, they're all mostly on my team. We do have
Okay.
guests here, different brokerages, different parts of the country, and so forth.
Okay. Yeah. For me, it's a great recruiting tool for my team, because sometimes I'll sit down with an agent. We had one not that long ago who was a decent, pretty good mid-performing agent thinking about joining our team. He ended up in my office and I talked to him and he asked about technology platforms, what advantages. And all I did is I just went to this right here and I said, give me an address, any address. And he gave me the address of his childhood home. And I went through the thing and I showed him all the stuff. And then I showed him all the different ways he could use it. And he signed with our team on the spot. So that's how we use the cash offer platform. At this point in time, I'll open it up for questions. You guys should have some.
Now, Jim, you might have mentioned it, but I just want to point it out. And guys, everyone who's listening, I've known Jim for probably as long as I've known Gary, for 15 plus years. So this is an amazing program that they put together. So I was excited when Gary wanted to share it with you. But did you mention how a lot of these guys are investors themselves, or they have a lot of investors that they deal with, how they can add their investors in here and get paid, or add themselves in here to put offers on properties?
Okay, so let's go back and do that. We'll go to properties. Let me get this going here. Okay, we'll just choose one here, San Diego. Let's see if my offers are in here now. Yeah, okay. So this is one that's in my area. 16 offered. What a wonderful picture that is, right? That'll be the opening photo in the MLS right there. Okay, 16 offers, 11 buyers. Now, we put in our offers right here, which again are, if the fair market value is 682, 642, whatever it is, we put in our offers. For example, there is Vertigo down here. Vertigo is an investor that we work with in the San Diego area. And we take a lot of our rehab listings and we flip them over to Vertigo, and then Vertigo will flip them and then use us on the purchase on the other side. The other fun part is I also do the private financing for Vertigo as well. So I win a couple times. But I put Vertigo into this platform. So every single, and there's a few people, a few teams in the Southern California area, in San Diego area, that use this cash offer platform. So if some other team inputs a house, Vertigo's offer shows up for them over there. Since I brought Vertigo in, every time they buy a house, I get paid 75 basis points. So I literally just get a direct deposit that just shows up in my account. And it happened not long ago where I actually called and asked, said, what's this $6,300 for? And they said, Vertigo bought a house. And I was thinking, that's awesome, because I did nothing. I did not advertise to get that listing. I did not go on the listing appointment. It wasn't part of my team. It wasn't part of anything. And I didn't have anything to do with anything. I just got a check in the end, which I say I will do that every day of the week. Also, something that I've added in recently is I've added in the Jim Buttrell cash offer, just so I can. You never know. Somebody might want to take it at some point in time. I don't know why this one came in quite that low, but it's automated. And I'll take a look at it because I'm usually at about 80% of fair market value is what it's automated to do. For some reason, it didn't do that on that one. I don't know why. But in any case, you can put in your own offers if you want to be an investor. Absolutely put it in. And you can set your criteria, your parameters to be whatever you want it to be. So if you want to pay 90%, great. That's fine if it's going to be a long-term hold. If it's going to be a flip for you, you need to be closer to the 70% probably. You can put it in whatever you want. So you can put in your offers right here. Remember, these two are the ones that get your agent through the door. If the person doesn't happen to like the cash offers, they'll get you through the door. Then you can have other investors that you bring in get paid. Now, I want to be very, very careful in reminding you, if you're going to bring an investor into this, you have to understand that investor will get the full address of the property. And if they're sneaky and then they're going to go approach that person direct, that's a problem. So you can only bring in people that you know will not go solicit that address directly. All right. And then you can put in your own offers yourself.
Want to learn what's working right now in real estate? Then don't miss Monday Night Live, happening every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Each week, we bring you expert training on real estate investing, agent attraction, lead generation, marketing, and AI-powered strategies to help you work smarter and scale faster. You'll also hear inspiring success stories and lessons learned from some of the most successful real estate leaders and investors in the industry. Whether you're a brand new agent, a seasoned investor, or building a high-performing team, there's something valuable for you every single week. Learn, network, grow. Registration is completely free. Simply visit globalinvestoragent.com to reserve your seat for an upcoming Monday night.
There's
What are the
there's
questions we
also a button there if you're dealing with an offer that you give to your client and they say, well, they want a counter offer. They can actually counter offer an offer if they'd like to, right, Jim?
Yeah, so we can pick on any one of these things right here. So let's just take, I know Premier Offer, we just had one of these actually open up, not this property. But so Premier Offers, the value of 682, they offered 562. If you wanted to, you can finalize as many offers as you want. You do it inside the platform. So for example, EXP has Express Offers. You have to do that outside the platform. Have any of you ever used Express Offers? Does anybody want to see the comparison?
And not me personally, we've had people on the team use it, like one guy's, so PF, he's up in your area, Todorov, he's used Express Offers. And I know he'd probably say they come in low too, that's probably.
Yeah, they do. They do. I'll do it in a minute. I'll show you guys the comparison of Express Offers. Anyway, one of the things that, as I'm very good friends with the creator of this thing. Again, I gave him the idea 7 years ago. Didn't know I was giving him the idea, but I did. But as the end user, I kept going back to him and saying, hey, it would be great if we could input buyers. Hey, it would be great if there was some system that would send out automated emails to people every month. Hey, it would be great if we could finalize more than one offer at a time. Hey, it would be great if we could do counter offers. And every time I've given him one of these suggestions, he's gone to his tech team and had it built out. And so you can counter offer inside. Somebody says, hey, I like your offer. I like the way it goes, but how about 580? Well, you just hit the counter offer button and say 580. And sometimes they come back and say, okay. So that's nice. So let me grab this real quick. The Express Offers. Express Offers. Okay. The number of offers in Express Offers is 0 to 5 offers. Oftentimes, the cash offer platform, there's 14 up to 30 in some places. Like you go into Georgia in some places, you'll see 30. Time to generate offers. If you guys have ever used it, you got to wait 24 to 48 hours. Well, you guys saw how quickly we got it. It took us about 3 minutes. The offer range in Express Offers, 60 to 75 is what I hear. Our cash offer platform, sometimes they're 90%. How commissions are paid. On Express Offers, it's going to be on your seller's HUD. Inside our cash offer platform, it doesn't have to be. You can actually just make it a charge to the buyer, and then it doesn't show up in the seller's HUD, but it does reflect in the price. So regardless, the same thing. It's just whether or not it shows up. Reselling the home after the investor buys it. Express Offers. My understanding is that you will not be the one that resells that property. In the rare instances where you do, they're only going to pay you 1.5%. In the cash offer platform, in nearly every single instance, you will be the one that resells the property. They do request to pay you just 2%, but we've negotiated it to 3% before. Fixed before selling the home, the original offer. Well, Express Offers doesn't do it, but there's a Realty Assist. Have you guys ever heard of Realty Assist? They cap at 50,000. So this is a rehab, or this is a bridge loan, but a Realty Assist caps at 50,000. Like I said, the cash offer platform, we have one going right now. It's a bridge loan of 200,000. So the Express Offers doesn't put a limit on it. Selling in the home and then staying. Go ahead.
Or never mind, I get it. Okay, I got it. I'm good. Go ahead.
You good? All right. Selling and then staying in the home. Again, Express Offers up to 60 days, actually up to 59 days. But the cash offer platform, you can stay in it for a year afterwards. Finalizing the offers. You have to finalize an Express offer outside of the platform individually, and you're not going to finalize a bunch of them at once. Ours are all inside the platform. In fact, when my agents are moving forward, they'll finalize 6 or 8 of them. And then they'll get those offers in, and then they start playing with the counter offer button, and they literally make a bidding war with these investors over their listing. Counter offers, I just talked about that. Lead gen. Now, this is kind of fun. There is no portal where a seller can submit for their own cash offers. Now, I showed you that on this right here, jimscashoffers.com. This is how the consumer will go direct and try and do it. Lead Gen Express Offers does not do that. On Lead Gen, buyers agents showing off market properties. I showed you guys how we did that by going into the properties here. We're list them all. So we did that. We did that little drill with was it Catherine? I showed you how we did that. Here's all the properties that are off market. Go ahead and just input any one of them in the in your app, in Zillow, whatever it is. Tell me it's for sale. It actually is for sale. They've actually solicited us for cash offers. They want to sell their house. 28% of our buyers are currently living in a home that was off market, and it has a lot to do with this platform. Showing the off market properties, did that. More lead gen, inserting offers to generate traditional listings. The listing brokerages doesn't necessarily get to insert their own offers. And by that, I mean, go back to this one here. These right here, these are our offers that we get the traditional listing, because maybe these initial cash offers aren't that great, but we'll have our offers in here that are great, and that gets you a seat at the table. And then you just do a traditional listing. Again, remember, 98% of the people who who end up signing traditional listings are the ones that say, I only want cash offers. I don't want a realtor. I'm not paying commissions. I don't want to sign in front of my house. I don't want open houses. I don't want showings. I don't want to be disturbed. Yet 98% of the time they sign a traditional listing. So just understand it. This is a tool that you can use to generate a lot of your own business. Monthly home value emails. I showed you mine that actually just showed up today. And then lead gen investment opportunities. If you want to make your own offer, like I showed you guys my offer that's inside that platform, if maybe they'll reach out to me and I can buy a house at 70 cents on a dollar, I'll do that. I'll buy anything at 70 cents on a dollar. I'm fine with that. Revenue streams. It does not include an opportunity for you to insert local investors, but the cash offer platform does. And then there's obviously the resale aspect of it. Gary, I don't know if you want me to talk about that or not, but I've left it out for today.
Okay.
So what other questions do we have? So here's your 9, actually there really should be 10 end user ways to monetize the cash offer system. Only one of which is selling your listing to the investor.
So how does the commission work for the person selling? Is that added on to the offer price or taken out of it?
The person that's selling?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, all your pictures are right exactly where I wanted to be. All right, I'm just going to grab a random one here. So we go into the back of it and we edit. We can put in our commissions here, whatever we want. This investor has a convenience fee of 1.95%.
Mm-hmm.
Some are more, some are less. And then mine is in there as well. 2 ways we can do it. It can be right there on the HUD where the house price sells for more, or the house can sell for a little bit less and it doesn't show up on their HUD.
All right, but they still have to pay their closing costs and all the other fees, right?
They have to do that regardless.
Anyways, right.
Nothing changes.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we have?
So when that customer says that they want to take your offer, that your company offer,
Okay.
that's when
Let's
you
go back to that.
that's when you just go ahead and make it a retail listing, correct?
Yeah. These right here.
Yeah.
These are retail listings.
Okay.
Say, oh, we want the 642. Great. Let me show you how we get it. And they just sit down and do the listing presentation.
Okay. Just wanted to verify that that's what it
Yep.
was.
That's what's going to happen 98% of the time, is you're going to end up listing the house traditionally. How many of you guys know, was it Dave Z? Okay, he's an EXP guy. I was just talking to him the other day. He says, dude, I put out the cash offer. People solicited a cash offer. They wanted a cash offer. I showed up and I listed it traditionally for $1.2 million. I would never have had that listing if I did not have the cash offer advertising, because that's what they wanted until I showed them the listing presentation. They decided to go with that. That's what happens to us almost every day. The cash offer makes the phone ring. My ISA gets an appointment for the agent to be at the door. This gets them through the door. And then they do the listing presentation and sign it. So there's steps that go with it. Now we had to figure out how to get through each one of those steps. I use the video game analogy, like, how many of you guys ever played video games? In order to get to level 4, you had to conquer every single problem that the video game gave you on level 3. And only once you solved or conquered all the problems at level 3 did you ever get to level 4 to learn that there's a whole new set of problems. That's the crux behind this saying, every level is another devil. We had to figure this out. This didn't happen really fast. I mean, we had to figure out what words are we using. Like cash offer for your home, and we were getting crickets. We didn't get it. Nobody's calling. And I realized I was literally driving to our cabin in Big Bear, and I see all these signs. We pay cash for your house. We overpay.com, like one after another after another. And I said, wow, there's absolutely nothing unique about my advertising here. And then I realized, well, wait a minute. I'll bring you 14 to 17 cash offers the first time we meet. Now that's better. Remember, I told you there's 2 ways to convert somebody. Give them something they want but don't have, or give them something better than what they have. I just made it better. Then the phone rang. And then we struggled with the ISAs, trying to figure out, how do you get an appointment at a door for somebody who just wants you to email them the cash offers? So we had to figure out the talk tracks through that. And then we got that. We figured that one out. And then we got to the door. And then I told you early on, the agent saying, these are bullshit appointments, I'm like, no, they're not. You're sitting at the door of a seller who says he or she wants to sell their house and splitting offers, and you're a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's a bad appointment.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't
Anyway.
understand these ads. I see one on TV all the time here in Arizona that will pay cash for your house and then you can stay in it for free. How do they do
well, they're
that?
just going to pay less. Same thing with our sell and stay offer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're basically just going to figure out, if we're going to pay X,
Mm-hmm.
we would normally pay 600,000 for this house, but you're going to stay in it for a year. So we're not going to pay 600. We're going to pay you 570. So they're just prepaying the rent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's with all of them. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Right.
What other questions do we have? No question. All right. So anyway, this has been a tool. My agents absolutely love it. My big takeaway on it is some people just look at this thing as, I'm going to just, like, the listings I already have. And this is honestly what we thought when we first started with it. Hey, we've already got all these listings and we've already got all these listing appointments. Let's just go to these cash offers and just say if we can, sell it to the cash investor. And it didn't work. But also I've learned, man, am I ever glad it didn't work? Because besides we're now a Zillow buy side and listing team. So we do get a lot of Zillow leads, but there's still less than a third of our business. Besides that, our number one lead source for new buyers and listings is our active listings, because we put advertisements in them. We have learned how to make our phone ring off of our listings. And it's now become behind the empire of Zillow, it's become our number one lead source. And we don't pay any referral fees on it. So I look at every single listing that we have as a freeway billboard that generates leads. And so I make the joke, and it's a joke, but there's some truth behind it. What's the worst thing that can happen to one of our really great listings? Anybody want to answer that? What's the worst thing that can happen to any one of our really great listings?
It gets sold really
We
fast.
sell it. That's the worst thing that can happen, because we've got to take the freeway billboard down.
Mhm.
I mean, we have listings that will generate 15, 20 really good leads at it, and then it goes into escrow. We're like, crap,
Mhm.
we didn't want to sell it. So, what other questions do we have?
Well, I just want to make an observation. I've seen a lot of systems over the years, I'm sure you can imagine, but what I really like about this one is it's showing them offers coming in real time. And it's not just like 2 or 3 offers. It's, a dozen
Yeah.
or more. And the first 2 are retail. So the big intention here is, like, I just remember 98% of the time, they're not going to like the cash offers, but you've already shown them right up top. The first 2 are like retail listings. So they're already paired mentally. It's like subconscious. Remember, the way we work is our subconscious mind. So when you're there in front of them and they say, look, these are all relatively low, we'll say, look, well, you don't have to go for those. We could do a retail listing. Here it is right here, 562,000 versus 408,000. Would that be better?
But
Would
but
that-
not
that-
really,
that
Gary. I
come
mean,
up?
look at these offers. We have a fair market value of 400,000, right?
Yeah,
Look at these offers. 386, 396, 396, 396, 400, 404. These are not bad offers.
exactly.
These are not bad offers at all. We had, and also what you're going to do is you're going to go into photos and docs and you want to take some pictures and upload it. And then there's property details. You'll go into edit. And then it's going to ask you all kinds of questions down here. And you can have the seller fill it out if you want. All right, because we just did one of these where once we uploaded the photos and answered the questions, they increased the offer $100,000. And that's one that got finalized today. So it looks like we're actually going to sell that one to the investor. Which, when the agent told me that, I was like, I really didn't want to sell that one to the investor. I really wanted my freeway billboard on that one. But all right, whatever. What other questions we have?
Hey guys, just raise your hand if this looks like something, would you like to have this at your disposal? I guess that's the question. Do you guys like this whole approach here? I mean, think about it. We are constantly under pressure to separate ourselves from the rest of the crowd, to stand out amongst all the other agents, And here's a really good way I've seen a lot of systems over the years. Some of you have seen Zoocasa, and when they first came out, remember we were one of the beta sites for them. They kind of went by the wayside, but something like this that's real time, multiple offers from multiple types of offers, right? It gets you in front of the seller, which is really what everything we're trying to do, marketing wise, is to do what? What is the aim of everything we're doing in our marketing? What's it meant to do? To
Listing.
get you in front of the seller, man. Get you that appointment. And this makes it so much easier, So Jim, one of the things about our team is we're not like a local location specific team. We have agents in like 6 different markets, usually 1 or 2 agents per market max. And it's kind of like it that way because we're like a network and we support each other.
Sure.
It's competitive, but it's cooperative competition. And of course, we get a lot of referrals going back and forth. But so this is definitely a national platform, but the way you offer it to other people is that so agents can get their own account here, or solo account.
Yeah, they can. They can. If they want to get a solo account, where is that? Yeah, here we go. This is what the cost is. If you want a solo account, it's $299 a month. There is no setup fee. No setup fee at all. If you have 2 agents and an admin, $599 a month, but I'm just going to tell you something, cheat on that one and just do the one user. Where it gets, when I first started doing it, I thought, okay, I'm going to do the one user. And I had, I think, 13 agents I was putting on it. That lasted for about a week and a half because there's one account and then all of the information, all of the offers, all the finalizing, all the photos that get uploaded, all the questions, everything goes back, just goes to that one person. And we had 13 people saying, hey, can you forward the email? No, not that house, the other house. You're like, okay, that became a mess. What I do with my team now is I do have 15 agents on it. I pay it. I have full amount. I do resell this platform. Just being fully upfront with you, my friend that owns this thing approached me a few months ago and said, Jim, you have figured out how to monetize this thing in ways that I never even dreamed of. We have several thousand users nationwide, but we have no marketing, no advertising, no salespeople, no advocates, no nothing, but it's grown to several thousand people nationwide organically. Would you be interested in selling the platform for us? And I said, well, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do it. It changed my company, so I'm happy to do it. So that's how it works. I get a little spiff on all of these. But I don't ask for a discount. One, I respect my friend too much. I make a ton of money on it, so I don't feel that I need to ask for the discount. So I'm not getting anything special on it. I pay for it just like you guys do. And so there's how you do it. There's fees. If you guys want to, if you want to sign up for it, let me know. Just shoot an email over to Gary or something like that, and we'll get you set up.
Okay. What I'll do too, Jim, is we have a Monday Night Live is every Monday, 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. And it's an open class. Anybody could come in from
Okay.
any brokers. We even have investors on there too. But the second Wednesday of the month, which happens to be this Wednesday, we have an internal, basically a team-wide strategic planning session. So I'm going to bring this up Wednesday night and see if we get a group effort. What we do, James, we run in huddles. We have a huddle for new construction. We have a huddle for agent attraction. We're developing a huddle for AI, and we have another huddle for called CAP, Certified Affordable Housing Provider. So I would like to get a huddle going with this.
Okay.
Let me just ask, who here would be interested in participating if we could form a huddle around this platform? Just a hand raise or type in the chat box. And Andre, if you want to, you and I can team up if you want. So you might have some people also that are not on, in your
Yeah,
line,
right.
but outside of my line. Because I'd like to make a go of this.
Seems
I mean,
like a
this is
pretty amazing platform.
Catherine
Yep.
is the only reason I have a company today
Yeah.
because I was just going to shut it down. I was miserable. I had 18 months where I was, we'd make 15,000 and then lose 5,000, make 10, lose 10. I did that for a year and a half after the second half of 22 and 23 because I have a company that we got to the point where in 2020, 21, we did $7 million in revenue. All right. Then I have to build the expenses, the support for that. And then after the second half of 22 and 23, all of a sudden we dropped to 4 million. Well, it's not like everybody just took a pay cut, right? Or all my expenses went down with it. Suddenly I've got a company that's built for doing $7 million in revenue, but it's only doing 4. This has brought us back to that $7 million revenue number.
Yeah, I can see how it would be very valuable. And I like the fact that you don't have to chase people.
No, it's super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of time getting used to working it, but it's really easy. It's kind of the first time I looked at it, I was like, oh, but you guys saw how easy I did it, and it's literally that easy to do it. But the very first time I actually started touching keyboards and like, oh, this is way easier than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, so it was really fun to teach to our team, and then as we started developing the other ways to work it. Where I have people coming in direct off of our radio ads that we literally, ISAs show up in the morning and here's the new requests. The off-market properties, because we're a big Zillow Flex team, so they'll give us, I don't know, not quite 200 appointments a month. And these are all people that we have to demonstrate that we have something the other agents don't have, which is access to off-market properties, and just being able to show them, well, here's the off-market properties. Why don't you, and then we love doing this. Pick one of them. Go if they say, oh, we find our houses through Zillow. Great. What about the houses that aren't on Zillow? All right. And then I say, why don't you jump on your app and pick any one of these houses and tell me if it's for sale or not? Oh, it's not for sale. Well, actually it is. And it's always, what? And now you're a hero. And then you just say, yes, I'd like to show you how it works. Let's go sit down, have a cup of coffee. I'll show you how it works. And then I can start to show you off-market properties. Do I really need to sit down and have a cup of coffee with them before we show them off-market properties? No, you really don't need to. But I will tell you the key to selling people on the buy side is you get a table appointment. If you can get them to a table and have some sort of demonstration, doesn't have to be a PowerPoint, some sort of demonstration of value, whether it be a buyer survey or it can be a rent versus own or velocity meter, or any one of these tools that you guys should have. Now you got them to a table where you can use those tools, and now you are the hero and they will buy a house through you. Game changer on that one for us.
Hey Jim, on the screenshot, I'm sorry, that had the houses, they're right there. So it shows like received, listed, finalizing offer. So when something gets sold, do those show up here too? Or is there a different
No, they
place?
come off.
Okay. So I'm just, is there a place to find out what has been sold? Ultimately, I know it's indirectly because 98% of the time we're going to be listing these, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last time we sold one. It's been several months since we sold one. We're about to finalize one today, I think. I'm pretty sure that we're going to get one today.
Okay.
I'd have to look up the address. I don't have that, Gary. I'm sorry. I'd have to look up the
That's
address.
okay.
But the investor just bought it, and what is it you want to see? And I can try and find it again for you.
What I'm thinking is like if we're showing this to a consumer, what I'm thinking what questions they might have. So somebody might say, they'll see listed, received, finalized and things like that. They might ask the same question, does it show?
They might. Yeah, it's funny. We've been using this for a couple of years. It's a great question. I've never been asked it before. Um,
That's right.
but it could happen. That's actually a great idea for us to. I can go back to my friend and see if we can throw testimonials on it.
The thing is, it'd be hard.
Be a
probably
good
hard
spot to put
track.
some testimonials right here.
Yeah,
Think about it. Three testimonials right there.
that's true. That would work. Because the way that software is written, the way it looks to me is, it's easy to show offers received, offers finalizing, but once something is done, either there's a manual process to remove those, because you don't want to keep showing those like they're still actively offered. So in any
Right.
case, I don't want to create work for that guy, but I know Zillow used to have the same issue years ago. They just couldn't. They were great to get inventory on there, they just couldn't get it off, and they're much better at it now. But something like that, just having some testimonials, I sold my house on, that would be
Yeah.
just as.
I'm gonna actually take a picture of this screen and then just tell him, hey, let's throw testimonials into there. There'd be 3 little boxes for testimonials. It'd be awesome to have right here on that page.
Hey,
Okay.
Jim?
Yeah.
Do you have investors from overseas
No.
that participate in this? Okay.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
The system, by the way, it does function in Canada, but
Okay.
there are no Canadian institutional investors in Canada loaded into the platform.
Okay.
So there are a few people who use it in Canada, but they insert their own investors into it.
Okay.
Like I did with Vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
They just take all their local investors and throw all of them in it.
Okay.
And then
All
they
right.
charge the investors to be in it.
I was actually thinking of the Canadian investors that invest here in the States. I mean, most of my friends up there that are investors, they invest at least 50% of the time here in the States,
Well, I was talking to somebody about, was it Andre? Was it you that was talking to me about the institutional investors in Canada, like all the different rules and stuff? It's crazy up there.
Yeah, I got a couple of EXP partners that are investors themselves that I want to share this with and see if they want to be investors, but I'm not sure about the institutional ones.
Yeah, I'm talking about just the way loans go in Canada. They're very
it is
different the way loans are done. Does anybody know?
Yeah, Canada. I used to live up there. Canada does not have a secondary market. They don't sell their mortgages.
No.
So it's more difficult for consumers to get their consumer mortgages, residential mortgages, behave like our commercial mortgages do down here. They have
okay.
pricing resets every 5 years, interest rate resets. And if you pay the mortgage off early, you get penalized.
So if you sell your house, you get penalized for.
If you pay off the mortgage early. Yeah, it's crazy up there. And it's so expensive. I mean, we think things have gotten expensive down here. I mean, you should see what it's like up there. Holy cow.
Wow.
But in any case, it's definitely different. The landlord tenant laws up there are far, far more strict than anything we've got here in the States. In Toronto, if you have to evict a tenant in the wintertime, you can get the judgment, but they won't give you possession. And guess who gets stuck paying the heating bill?
Oh, of course, the owner.
Yeah. And in Quebec City, it's illegal to collect a security deposit. I'm like, well, I wouldn't run anything without a security deposit, but that's some of the rules up there. But people still invest. That's why I'm saying a lot of invest here in the States because it's just easier. They get dinged with a 10%. They get hit 10% penalty when they bring their money back to Canada. But it's still
that might be worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, if the laws are that much better here, it's just paying the tax.
Yep.
Okay.
A quick question.
Sure.
When you're ready.
I'm ready.
When you took my email address to assess the cash offer for my house, did you send me an email?
The system might have sent you one.
No, I didn't get anything.
Yeah, I don't know that it did. And I also don't know that I input it correctly, to be honest with you. But it wouldn't necessarily send you an email directly because we don't want the consumers to get the actual cash offers on their own. I want an agent to show up and give it to them.
Okay, that makes sense. I just wanted to
Yeah.
confirm because I was looking.
Yeah. So yeah, for
Okay.
example, on the jimscashoffers.com, when they input their stuff, and they're basically just going to get asked all the same questions, put in the address, it just goes to the same stuff I just did. I just did it from the back end.
Yeah. Cool.
They
Thank
originally
you.
think they're going to hit send and they're just going to get the offer show up in their email. They don't.
That,
Even though
yeah.
even though the commercial, the radio ad says speak to no agent. By the way, that's very important. You put that, you'll double the number of inquiries. Speak to no agent. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to speak to an agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a person ask me about that not long ago. It says, "Well, your ad," he was mad about something, and it got escalated to where I was actually talking to the seller, and he said, "But your ad said speak to no agent." Within 3 minutes, my phone was ringing. I said, "Yeah." He goes, "But your ad said," and I had to talk to an agent. I said, "Yeah," and he says, "But your ad said speak to no agent, but I had to anyway." And I said, "Yeah," and he says, "Why?" And I said, "Because I'm in sales." So anyway, I thought it was funny. Maybe you guys were all muted, which is why I didn't hear you all laughing. All right.
All right.
Let's laugh. Okay, what else we have?
Let me see here. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a call probably Thursday. We meet Wednesday at 7 Eastern, and we've got down a half dozen names of people that are interested. It hasn't even, the recording's going to go out tomorrow afternoon or Wednesday morning, and that goes out
Okay.
to a much bigger database. So
Great.
they're going to see this too. But so with my team being spread out like that, as opposed to a traditional local team, does that change things at all? I mean, as far as I mean, it's a national platform, right? We obviously
Yeah, it's a national platform. Yeah.
I don't think that should make.
Now
a
the
big
question
difference.
is, do you have them all do individual ones, or do you do one just under you and get a big one? I don't know, Gary. We have to talk about that
Probably
one.
something like that. Because what I'm thinking is, we have our Asian attraction huddle too. We've got anywhere from 10 to 15 people. There's actually 2 huddles for it because we got so good at it. But
Mhm.
this is an excellent agent attraction tool. Actually, who here is
Oh, it's massive.
who's in one of the 2 agent attraction huddles here tonight, guys? I know Connie was on. But can you see anybody who's interested in agent attraction? Can you see how this would help you attract other agents? If you could say, hey, come on to our team, look at what we got,
So we'll
Yeah,
do
it'd
what
be
I did. We'll
amazing.
just say, give me an address, any address, and
Yeah.
show them what we do. And then show them this. Here's all the ways you can make money off this. It's not just selling a house to an investor. In fact, I don't like it selling a house to the investor because then I don't get my freeway billboard.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. It's not just for me to help our agents get listings. It's to help them attract other agents. It's both attraction and production. Okay. Hey guys, any other questions, thoughts, comments?
Yeah, I have a quick question. So the off-market property, are they actually FSBOs?
No, we just bring it up. Where are you from, Mark? You sound like you're from the Bronx or something.
Actually, I live in Hawaii, but I am from the Bronx.
Okay, I was gonna say, you guys
Wow,
starts talking. It's like, wow, he's gonna ask me for protection money.
ain't that something? You don't even
I'm
see
gonna
my
make
face.
you an offer you can't refuse. No, what we do, they're not FSBOs at all. These are people that have reached out to us to generate cash offers. We can, no, so of course, we have all their information now. And if somebody wants to look at their house, we just, as the agent, just pick up the phone and say, I have a buyer for your home. Would it be okay if we came by and took a look at it?
Okay.
Now, there's a very good chance that, a lot of these, you can see just in the screen right here, these 3 right here, these were ones that just came in as cash offers that didn't want anybody to list their home. They didn't want any of it. But look at, 3 out of the 9 that are on the screen are not listed. We have contracts on them. And that's quick. A lot of them will end up being B-backs where you got to come back in a week and get it then, or come back in a month, whatever. I mean, sometimes it's exploratory. We'll end up listing, 3 out of 9 is pretty good. But there's probably another one inside here that we'll get at another time that'll show up, whether it's 3 weeks from now or 3 months from now.
Okay.
They'll come
And
up.
the
But
site
yeah,
and
we just
and
reach out to that person and say, yeah, we have somebody who's interested in buying your home because they
okay.
know who we are at this point in time.
And the site is generating the off-market properties, or are we
No,
uh
well, you have to input them. Now, in your area, my guess is there's already somebody there that has already input properties, or you guys input them yourselves, either one. So, for example, the buyers that pop up, there's, again, I'm not on Jackson Avenue in Indiana, but there's other people using the cash offer platform in Indiana that have input their buyers into this. And now their buyers' search patterns match your house, Kathy. And again, if you want to sign the agreement with us, then we can reach out and bring these buyers over. And what happens is once we hit one listing, then boom, the emails go out to whatever agent input that buyer, and then the buyer also gets them. And so now you can get the agent's contact information and say, hey, let's schedule a showing for you. But
okay,
you don't do that until you have an RLA.
okay. Could you put in Ohio? I just want to see how many off-market properties are in
I have no idea. You want to do another property? Give me an address.
It's a 91 dash
91 dash?
uh-huh 91 dash 1195
Never even heard of an address.
Kayau Avenue, Kaiau Avenue.
One?
Kapolei, Hawaii. Yeah.
There it
Yeah.
is.
All right. Let's see. I'm just gonna throw my stuff in here for well, 3
Put
bedrooms,
unit,
2.5 baths, single floor, 2-car garage.
put unit 1203.
Well, you're not Nathaniel Ryan Finley, are you?
No.
Number
Unit
what?
1203. Like right underneath the address,
Oh,
line
sorry.
1, unit 1203.
1203.
Correct.
Same thing. Oops. What conditions property in?
I guess it would be Honolulu.
No, what condition is the property in?
Oh, good condition.
Okay. Estimated value 676.
Sounds about right.
Okay. And I'm going to say that I don't have the listing, but I'm working with Lance. Okay, we create the property. Looks like maybe it's new construction back there. Is that what's going on?
No.
I don't know. I don't know what this picture is. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take to generate an offer. Honestly, I've never generated an offer in Hawaii before. So I'm very curious myself how long this takes. Let's see what
Okay.
shows up. What made you move from the Bronx to Hawaii?
Originally the military.
What branch?
Army. So
Army,
this was
okay.
my first duty station. First
Okay.
and only duty station.
Then you just decided to stay?
Went back to New York and then I came back.
Do you see the flag behind me? Which flag that is?
Can't really see it. I see something moving, but the light
Okay.
is shining
It's,
too much.
it's hazy because of the glare, but it's Marines.
Yeah. Marine Corps flag.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
Cool.
I was a Marine for a long time. All right. Well, you got 8 offers so far. So we have a fair market value 676. Mine popped in at basically 102% of that. And you got some other good ones in here. 682, 76, 69, 69, 52, 618. Those are good cash offers.
Okay. Ooh.
Never generated one in Hawaii before. I'm kind of curious if any buyers show up. If the buyers show up, that means there's somebody using the platform there. And if no buyers show up, then nobody did.
Okay.
Yeah, you might be the first. Any other questions?
How long did it take for this platform to become productive? I mean, you obviously aren't going to just pay your money and it works. You've got to build it.
For me, I really had to go through a lot of hassles because the offers were just terrible. I had friends that were using it in Phoenix and Georgia and places in Florida and places like that, and they were crushing it. And the offers were fantastic, and they were generating, 12 to 16 offers back then with just 40 investors. I'm like, I'm getting 4. Like, these are terrible. And I called and said, like, what the hell's going on here? They said none of them want to do business in California. So I realized that it was going to take a little bit of time for me to figure everything out. But you wouldn't have to go through this because the problems that I went through, one, are largely non-existent anymore. And two, if you do run into the problem, I've already solved it. For me, it took me about a solid year to get going where I was really starting to make good money at it. And then by year 3, it's, our big color copier that we have in the office, if it's printing $100 bills and sheets, it can't keep up. So that's nice. Somebody like you, I would say within 90 days, you're going to see a lot it can be really quick because you can actually do it honestly. Think about this one right here. Buyer's agent can use, instant offers during an open house. You do open houses?
No, not usually.
Okay. Well, if you did, or anybody in your team does, or anything like that, you sit in an open house, turns out the person has a house to sell. Hey, would you like me to generate 14 to 17 offers for your house while you're looking at the house? Only takes me about 3 minutes. So, go ahead and take a look at the house. When you come back, stop back by, I'll show you the offers. There's no cost, there's no obligation. All right, that's easy. Or if you work with buyers, again, do the trick where you show them. This has been such a massive tool for my agents. Oh, hey, there is somebody in Hawaii. You got 3 buyers in there. Where you show them all the properties and you do the off-market speech, which has been recorded here a couple times now. But it's, again, you're just showing them something better than what they're getting right now. And you use it to book a meeting at a table. And when you guys get to a table, you should have some sort of process that's repeatable. You do every time. Like my agents, we have a buyer survey. And they have a little speech at the beginning that says, I've been doing this for a long time, and I found that if I truly understand somebody, like I get to know them and I truly understand them, I can get them a much, much better result than if I didn't know. That said, would it be okay if I asked you guys a couple questions? And they'll say, so I can get you that better result? Sure, no problem. Would you mind if I took some notes? Sure, no problem. And then they pull the sheet out, and it's got about 8 questions on it. And they're trained on this. They're tested on how they read the questions. You don't read the question off the piece of paper. Right? You know what the question is. You ask them, you look up at the eyes, and then when they give you the response, you ask a question from whatever their response was. And they've got to do like 3 or 4 questions from whatever their response is that dives into it. And my agents, we really struggled with it because they kept going back to the house. It just whatever it was. They, trained realtors, it's got to be about the house, got to be about the house. I will tell you that in real estate, if you make it about the house, you're going to lose. It cannot be about the house, right? You're going to lose. And it got so much to where I started doing like role play with my agents, but we do a thing called Bull in the Ring where somebody will get in the middle of the room and we have all the chairs around them. And then we just start hammering them with objections. And then they've just got to answer the objections as fast as they can go. Then the next person, but they don't know what the question's going to be. And then they get a little exhausted and they get to pick the next person that goes in the ring. And so I just started putting them in there and I said, let's just do the question and answer game. So I'd say, ask me a question, and then I'd give them an answer, and then they're supposed to ask me a question from that answer. And they maybe do it once, but then they go back to the house. And it really was a lot to get them off of that. And so finally what I did with them is I said, look, you guys got to stop making this about the house. This is about being human and asking questions and being genuinely interested, even if you're not. And I said, what's your favorite color? And then the girl that was in front of me said, blue. Like, really, what is it about blue that you like so much? Well, I just like, it's such a natural calming feeling being blue. And I said, so tell me more about that. How does blue calm you down? Does red calm you down at all? Or is that something that fires you up? She goes, no, red fires me up. So let's talk more about blue. What is it about blue that calms you? And do you surround yourself with blue? Right. And then next thing you know, within a couple of minutes, we're talking about skydiving. But that's how you have conversations with people to where they feel that you genuinely are interested in them. So anyway, going back to your table meeting, you should have some sort of printed out survey that asks some questions. And ours says buyer survey for better service. And they go through it, and then they'll do a rent versus own analysis, and then they'll do a velocity money analysis. And they'd use these tools in front of these people. And it has nothing to do with the off-market properties. We're just teaching them about, the difference between renting a house and buying a house, and how that, even though it's one check for both of them, they do different things. And it shows you how the math works out with the appreciation, the cost savings, the principal, the tax savings, et cetera, to where you actually get paid to live in your house. And we do that mathematically with them. It's 11 by 17 paper, and they have to do it upside down. My agents do it upside down. They run their calculator upside down. They write upside down. That's all tested on my team. And if you can't pass it, you can't be in front of my buyers. And then you're going to go out and show them some of these off-market properties. But now you've got them hooked because you've done things the other agents don't do. Other agents make it about the house. What neighborhood do you want to live? Well, how many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? How many square footage? Is your year built? Great, let's go find those. You're a commodity at that point in time. They're going to hit that blue button that says contact agent, schedule showing. It ain't you. But if you've shown them stuff that they didn't know, that at the end they feel smarter, they feel they've learned something, and they feel they're going to be better off in life because you taught them, you took your time to teach them something they didn't know that's highly valuable. Now you have a client for life. And that's how you get to really big numbers as far as selling.
Thank you.
That was a little bit more than you asked for, but.
That's all right.
Oh, by the way, did you guys notice this post popped up? Upcoming private showing.
Received. Well, I'm looking at the ones for Mark. He's already got offers received. There's one.
Yeah, let's go back and look at it again. It's still at 8. It's a small place. I'm honestly actually kind of surprised that we got 8. But hey, you got 8.
Yeah.
8 more than you had 5 minutes ago, right?
Yeah, that's an awesome system, Jim. I can see you can use it a dozen different ways.
Yeah, I've never pulled an offer up in Hawaii before. I was honestly thinking, God, I hope this works.
Yeah.
All right, what other questions do we have? What else can I help with?
Well, I'm gonna, Andre, you and I are meeting tomorrow. Let's strategize a little bit, and then
yeah, we'll put a game plan together.
what's that?
Okay.
We'll put a game plan together to help your team and figure out how we can use this with everybody.
Okay, sounds good. And then we'll meet with them Wednesday night. So Jim, I appreciate this, man. I knew they were going to like it. So Jim, if you guys could either type in the chat box on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you really like. Don't worry about the money right now. What we're trying to figure out is a strategy. Just what I want to try to gain is your interest level. 10 meaning like you got to have it no matter what. 1 being no interest.
I like the 11.
Yeah, 11. Yeah. Or just do a hand raise. You could do a hand raise. That's as good as a 10. But what we'll do is we'll brainstorm on this and we'll put something together. Okay.
All right, great. And Mr. Jimenez, are you a Marine as well?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
Army.
All right. I saw the Semper Fi. Oh, Army. All right.
Oh, respecting the game.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you for your service, sir.
I always say thank you for paying for it. I spent a lot of your money in Iraq. I was a company commander in 2003. It's in the initial push. So I had my 225 Marines right behind the dozers, knocking down the berms, taking the airfields, kicking doors in Nasiriyah. So that's what we did back in 2003. Getting shot at's overrated. I would recommend you all avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah. But life's short enough without being shot at, right?
Yeah. People ask me, how did you go from that into real estate running a team? And I said, well, really interesting. It's not that different. It's still people's products, processes for a product. The only difference nowadays is we're not getting shot at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, we'll quick note before we sign off here. PF is actually Pedro. He's a future president of the United States.
Vote for Pedro.
That's it, man.
It's a shirt.
Yep.
Yeah. My daughter had one. Vote for Pedro. She had one of those shirts.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll jump off and let you guys talk. Unless there's any other questions for me.
Thank you.
Okay.
No. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate all you guys.
Right.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Jim.
Bye.
Thanks, Jim. Hey guys, I'm gonna sign off here. Unless anybody has anything urgent to talk about, I'll sign off. But if you have anything you need to discuss one-on-one, please set up a one-on-one. I've got a couple of good one-on-ones set up this week for people I haven't heard from for a while. But yeah, don't be one of those people that disappear. Yeah. It's statistically speaking, the people that participate, come to the huddles, produce more than those that don't. It's not even close, guys. You know, so that's what we're running. But in any case, so set up the one-on-one so we can strategize. You know.
So Gary, did you take note, or your VA will pull who said 10, who's interested in learning more, and how we can use this system?
Yes. Yep. I've got the where I keep the chat box. Actually goes on my
Okay, great.
computer, so I can go back in and see everything. Yep. So, well, listen, guys. Hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July. There was a great video. I think I posted it earlier. Just a lot of it. The Williamsburg, Virginia fireworks show supposedly was one of the best. The one in DC was spectacular too. But you know, lots to be grateful for. You know, in spite of all of our bumps and bruises, I've been all around, honestly, in multiple continents, dozens of countries, and I've lived in 2 other countries. I can tell you, having lived in other countries, you know, in industrialized countries, right? There's just nothing like what we have. I've traveled to every state teaching hundreds and thousands of classes, and every place has something to be proud about. You know, you just got to choose where you stand on things. You know, I love our country. You know, in spite of our bumps and bruises. You know, we all individually, none of us are perfect. No town is perfect. No state is perfect. No country is perfect.
Hey, Gary, Andre, has there been anything coming down the line in terms of the impact of this new affordable housing bill that just went through the, went through the House and everything? Is there any information coming from the top, or any news on that?
Not yet. I actually was looking at that today because I just saw the latest news, and it's really encouraging. But it's going to take time to digest that, because there's so many layers. First of all, any federal legislation has to be enacted at the state level. The states have the right to interpret that and add to it. They can't contradict it. They can only add to it, but they can add things. They can have time frames different. Just different things can be different. And then the real estate commissions have to do their part too.
Okay.
So there'll be some immediate things like with lending that we'll be able to hear about, but it's just so new. We need to give the decision makers time to mull over everything and tell us what we need to know. But the good news is it is absolutely going to help us. It's exactly what we needed, you know. So now it's just time to execute. So anybody that stuck in with us through those lean years, I'm telling you, I've been around long to see this a couple times. You just wait. You stick it out, you are going to be amply rewarded. And new construction is going to lead the way. It never failed. Every time new construction leads the way.
Yeah. Okay. The best is yet to come.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it.
Okay. You guys have a good night, okay? I like Belgium, but you know what? I'm going to root for the United States tonight.
Go USA!
There you go.
Go Stars and Stripes.
How's the game going? Be blessed.
2-1. It looks like
already
US is down by US is down by 1. I can see it. Best watching in the other room.
Yeah, it just started. We got plenty of time. Don't worry.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you for watching Monday Night Live. Consider subscribing. Agents, want to learn more? Schedule a call with Gary using the link in the description.